What's up everybody? How's it going? Welcome to another fantastic edition of Chatting to Someone Important with Knowledge. That's what we're going to do here today. I'm going to invite Dr. Steve Harris onto screen with me. Dr. Steve, how are you doing?
Brad, that was an amazing intro. It should be about you, not me.
No, I think Doctor...
About you.
There's no doctor.
No doctor. Okay, no.
How do we greet like this? Is it elbows? The question about...
Okay.
Exactly. Is that because you can't lick your elbow?
Can't I?
I don't know. Can you?
Hey, wait a bit. I can lick yours.
Oh! So guys, Steve is a master at mental toughness, and I think that's what he's going to talk to us today. So you're going to get a lesson in learning how to be mentally tough from a doctor. Steve, you're going to tell us about...
I'm going to do that, Brad. I certainly hope so. Let's walk and see what comes up.
All right, let's do it.
Let's yeah. So are you going to ask questions, or am I just going to talk?
You start talking and then I'll ask questions.
Okay.
Or maybe I should ask a question
No,
first.
maybe. Let's go back to where it started.
Okay.
Where I started getting interested in teaching mental toughness.
All right.
And that was 25 years ago.
25 years, okay.
I get a phone call. It's Morné du Plessis. And he says, will you come and present to the Springboks?
Ooh.
And I thought, wow, will I?
Did you have something to present at that stage?
Not really, no.
Amazing.
But he knew I was doing motivational talks and team building. So I selected this mental toughness thing and thought, well, that's a cool subject.
Yeah.
So I remember going into the team room with all these Springboks. There's Francois Pienaar and Chester Williams and Joos van der Westhuizen and Mark Andrews. And I was intimidated.
I'm sure. That's quite the...
I thought, what now? And so I started, as many of the people in this industry do, and said, have you got any questions?
You started with the question.
Yeah.
I love it.
Which you didn't.
No, you started the question.
I started the question.
I was wrong from the beginning.
Yeah, you
My
did.
mental toughness.
Well, maybe I was wrong. Because they didn't say anything. They just looked at me. They didn't know me. And it was an awkward, long silence. But rescued by this Joburg voice from the corner of the room. He says, yeah, but I've got a question. Sorry, this is recorded. Who the hell died leaving you in charge?
Oh.
And I thought, okay, this is not going to be very good. This wasn't meant to be like this.
Silence.
Yeah. This is the Springboks and me. Anyway, I got through that. And since then, well, that is one of the, it's like this COVID thing's punched many people on the nose.
Yeah.
And what Mike Tyson says, you're incredibly tough until you take a punch on the nose. And then things change. And that certainly changed me. It was a punch on the nose. I've had many punches since.
Do we get to know who that Joburg voice was?
Well, it's rest in peace, James.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
That's
wonderful, great fun. And I've had lots of gigs with them since, and it's been great. I certainly haven't been there recently. I'm way past my sell-by date for that kind of gig. But I do lots of corporates. And so that is the start.
That's incredible.
Soon afterwards, I was going around to the universities to promote ETA College, our college. Yeah, sorry.
You got the right attire for this walk, because this is quite the uphill.
Oh, here comes the bike.
Thank you. It was quite the hike up this hill.
So, and this walk gets many famous people. That was Gary Kirsten.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. He's killing it. Good man.
He's nice and fit. He should be.
Yes, he didn't.
So nevertheless, come back to me. It's about me.
Doctor.
Yeah, he's
Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve. 99 World Cup. Gary Kirsten. Dr. Steve. Okay.
Good. I set that up.
No, very good. We've production value. We planned that for months.
Planned that. Okay, so since then, I've been doing these talks on mental toughness, and I went along to universities to promote ETA, and the head of sports science at University of Western Cape, Professor,
Is it above doctor?
yes,
Ooh, lovely.
so I wasn't doctor then.
Okay, yeah, just Mr. Steve.
Professor Paul Avis says to me, look, I don't want to talk about ETA. You're the mind coach of the Springboks. So I said, well, I've obviously been photobombing because you're not supposed to see the back, but maybe I do photobomb. I'm not sure. Maybe not. It's more your game, that
Photobomb.
photobombing. So he says to me, let's talk about mental toughness. How come you can be the mental toughness coach of the Springboks?
Did he ask you that?
Yes.
All right.
So I thought this is like James Small revisited. I'm getting in trouble, yes.
Conversations are always
And I
a
said,
tricky
well, I was asked, and I do it.
stuff. That's-
He says, well, you don't know what you don't know. I said, what? Prof, you don't know what you don't know about mental toughness. How come you can do that job without a qualification? In fact, what do you know about it? You know, simply, what do you know? And who taught you?
Is there a qualification for mental toughness?
It comes. We'll get to that. But I was a bit confounded. And he says, I tell you what, why don't you get to know what you don't know?
Yeah, that's
Do a PhD. I'll be your supervisor. And then you'll know at least what you're talking about. And I was a bit embarrassed. And I said, where do I sign?
I mean,
Where do I sign?
in.
I'm in. And I did the PhD with him. He was the supervisor. Sadly, he passed away during it.
Oh no.
But yeah, that is negotiated on the way. But nevertheless, I found out I didn't know a lot about it.
Was there lots that you didn't
There's
know about?
lots I didn't know, which makes me realize lots I still don't know,
Ah,
which is kind of worrying. But that's lesson one.
yeah,
You don't know what you don't know.
love that.
Yeah, so then I at least had he said to me, you know, Steve, and after you got this qualification, you can go around to any sports team, any corporate, stand in front of them and say to them, trust me, I'm a doctor. Well, that is bull as well.
Yeah, you've got a fun saying about a doctor.
Yeah, that is not, but nevertheless, it gets you the job initially. And thereafter, if you screw up, well, you don't got the job anymore.
Yeah.
It's gone. So that is my kind of intro. Then I started reading a bit and going right back to Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he says there's 7 habits that highly effective people practice. And they're still applicable, even though his book is long ago. And the 7th one is what made the difference for me, and that's sharpen the saw. And essentially he means, imagine you're in a forest
Yes, production value.
and you see someone sawing down a tree, and you see they're tired, and you say, but what you doing?
Sawing down a tree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sawing down. So, but you're looking tired. He says, I'm not tired, I'm exhausted. Why? He says, I've been sawing all day, I've got a whole forest to cut. And you say to him, well, why don't you stop and sharpen that saw? I'm sure it'll go a lot faster then. Listen, pal. Sounds like James again. But I haven't got time to stop and sharpen the saw. I'm too busy sawing. And that was a big lesson. If you're not willing to stop and learn, to sharpen the saw, then you're not going to progress. And if this fly doesn't leave my nose soon,
He's following you. Should we stop
we're going to
this
sharpen
for a
that
sec?
fly.
Let's just,
So what Covey didn't know, because it's the 1980s when he wrote the book,
okay.
what he didn't know was technology
Yes.
has changed amazingly. So, in my opinion, he's got to add to sharpen the saw. Why don't you get rid of the saw? Why don't you get a hacksaw, a chainsaw? Something that's more efficient.
Have you made an 8th step?
And well, this is step 7B.
7.2.
Yeah, 7.2. So, but it doesn't stop there, Brad. Why don't you ask yourself, what on earth am I doing sawing down trees? Shouldn't I be planting them?
Ah,
So that's metacognition. That's
Wisdom.
mental toughness.
shoot. Okay.
So when you say, what am I doing this for? there must be other stuff. You know right now, we've got such a massive problem with our carbon footprint. If we don't download that carbon soon, we're going to desertify the earth. And so it's that ability to say, well, okay, I'm a this, but it's time to stop. I must stop sawing down trees. Not saw down trees better.
Plant the trees.
Plant the trees. And that's the metaphor for whatever, your relationships and all. So that's where the whole mental toughness thing came in. The PhD, the research, gave me a consequence of what is mental toughness. And I've written copiously about it and brought it down to 7 steps. Maybe Covey influenced me there. But there are 7 things. If you do these often and well, you'll be mentally tougher. You don't necessarily become the toughest mentally tough person. You get better.
Yeah.
And you can get better at anything. So there's the 7 things I want to share with you. And they're in the books, Surviving to Thriving. And
should we take a moment and talk about your book, Steve?
okay. Yeah.
Steve has a book, guys. And I think if you guys contact us, we might be able to organize to give some of these lovely folk a PDF.
A PDF version of
Version
it,
of the
yeah.
book.
Yes.
Amazing.
Well, we can't give them a hard copy
No.
because it moves like us aging it, and it's getting new knowledge, and it's unrecognizable from the hard copy that
Yeah.
you've got.
And that eats trees.
And that eats trees.
There you go.
Absolutely, photographer.
Lovely camera lady.
Yeah.
There. Brilliant.
And
So
the
you're writing all the time. You're updating
all
your
the
book
time.
all the time.
The current copy is the 4th of October 2020.
It was yesterday.
Yes.
Amazing.
And I just keep finding stuff that I say, oh, that's got to go in. That, it
Yeah.
changes the whole context.
Probably with COVID and
With
the
well,
elections
with
and-
COVID, for example, a couple of our graduates at ETA have been saying to me, but COVID's been wonderful for them. The one guy said it's even a blessing because he had to change his job. He had to stop doing that. Now he's following his passion. He's opened an art center in Philippi.
that's a change.
Bongeni. He's just, what?
Yeah.
And then the other guy is a personal trainer at Virgin Active. Virgin Active
Yeah.
had to close. They're open again, wonderful place. But while they were closed, he's giving online personal training. And he's Linda's personal trainer. But now what's happened, he's going back to Virgin Active, but keeping the online
Yeah.
customers. So he's got twice as much.
Absolutely.
So he also sees COVID as kind of the flight of the phoenix. You know that lovely story?
Yeah.
Where the plane crashes in the Sahara and 2-engine cargo plane, and one of the guys is incredibly bright, and I know this engine stuff, so eventually the crew agrees and they take one engine off and fix that other engine with the parts. They all hang on to the wing and they fly off. The flight of the phoenix. The Phoenix Pandemic Club. Are you one? Join the club.
I'm going to join. I want to be in the club, please. Put me in the club, please. That's amazing.
Yeah, so they're absolutely amazing.
Okay,
So that's the book, and they can have a PDF copy by all means.
There you go. Sorry for that long segue. 7 steps.
7
That's
steps.
why we're here.
We're going to go more than 7.
Are we going more than 7?
Well.
7.3.
Point
Four.
many. Okay, you were supposed to see the beautiful sight, but you're going to see beautiful fog.
Oh, thank you, Cape Town.
Yeah,
Thank you, Cape Town. This is
foggy Cape Town. Well, it's when your mind gets foggy, Brad. You need clarity.
metaphor. There you go.
We're going to have to clear that
There
fog.
you go. See what happens if you don't.
Maybe we
plant
come and
trees.
film tomorrow. So
Do you think we can get Gary Kirsten again?
we're going to ask him.
Oh, maybe coming
Gary-
back. We'll see.
Yeah. Many Kirstens around, eh? Peter, Gary, all those.
All of them.
Yeah, they're all very good sports people.
Got lots lined up for you guys today.
Okay, so there are 7 chapters. Now, those 7 chapters can stand alone. You get better at that thing, or better at that thing and that thing and that thing. And it's incremental. It develops synergy. If you're better at this and this, it's not 101 is 2. It's 101 is 2.1. and you get all 7, who knows?
Yeah.
So, the first step, the first thing is concentration. And Brad, so far, you're a star. You're concentrating.
Today?
Yeah, you're getting.
High five, Steve.
I can.
But COVID, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're concentrating, and I use the image of South Africa's most significant icon, Nelson Mandela. 27 years he kept concentration. Concentration that he wanted to improve South Africa to a place where all people could live in it and be bountiful. And he came out of jail, not resentful, but concentrating. So he's our image. If you think of concentration, Nelson Mandela.
He's the go-to guy.
He's the go-to guy. He set it up for us all the way. So concentration is about passion. If you don't have the passion for what you're doing, you can't be mentally tough because you've got nothing to draw on. So you start, am I passionate about this? If I'm not, do what Bongeni did. Start an art center. He's passionate about that.
Yeah.
So all of us, in my opinion, step 1, are you passionate about your whatever you do? If you're not, leave. Do something else. Oh, but I need the job. It's just a job. Get another.
Yeah. Get a job in something.
Get a job you love,
Yeah.
and then you'll do better. No whinging. So it starts with passion. You know, I remember when I finished my first qualification at Stellenbosch Varsity, I was called up to the army.
Ooh.
You know, those days you get this brown envelope with this amazing invitation in it, gilt-edged. Please join us to fight the hordes.
That makes me scared.
The communists, the communists who happened to be black, you know, I was just a young surfer boy. I didn't even think about that. But I thought, I don't want to do that. Why would I want to go to the army, for heaven's sake? So the rationale was, you go to the army because you're going to fight terrorism. Heard that recent?
Yeah.
Okay. Nah, I think I'll just stay on the beach. No,
You
you
didn't go.
wait.
Ah.
They've got many more reasons. The second one, because God wants you to. Yeah, in the Bible. That's why the children of Ham, they should be slaves. We must. What? Nah, no, come on. I don't even understand that stuff. So, nah. Okay. You go to the army because if you don't, we'll lock you up. Okay, I'm going.
I'm in.
No, I
I'll
understand.
take it.
But you know, Brad, I've had so many people in my circle that were brave enough to say, lock me up.
Really?
Yeah. And it's my one regret in politics, or whatever you might call it, that I didn't have those
things.
to say, lock me up. I should have. Because that was the right choice in that moment.
But prison's also scary.
So what?
But yeah, totally.
Compared to apartheid,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
not scary.
Yeah.
So I went, and I had no passion, just survive. And at that time, Nelson Mandela was the devil.
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard of him, actually. So they tell you about Nelson Mandela and how bad he is, and stick a bayonet in him, and what? What would I do that for?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the army. And since then, well, thank heavens we're in a democracy. It's morally correct. There's a couple of challenges here and there, but it's morally correct. I'd far rather have that than anything else. Concentration started with passion, but then it moves on to planning. Once you're excited about something, you have to plan. Now, you're not going to necessarily get what you plan for, but you certainly won't get it if you don't plan. You're going to get a random result. So planning is about, well, let's take Chan Kim's book, Blue Ocean Strategies. And his easy, well, the book's not easy, but the kind of ready guide is you need 4 quadrants. One is, what must you eliminate in your life? What must you stop doing? Plan to stop that. And in my book, you've got to stop whinging and whining and blaming and naming and complaining, and your life becomes much better. Now, there's lots to complain about. I'm not some sort of Pollyanna existence, but stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It's not doing anything.
It's not doing anything. Stop it. Eliminate it. So once you've eliminated that, you can go on to what must I just reduce, do little less of, as opposed to eliminate. And again, in my understanding, at the moment particularly, I must reduce going down the rabbit hole of conspiracies. It's ridiculous how many people are concerned about stuff they've got no control over, and they're whinging about it and saying, yeah, but Bill Gates is going to put us a chip in us, and COVID is a pandemic, not a pandemic, yeah, that thing. And it's just, why are you bothering with that stuff?
Totally. What does that
Get
book,
on with your job.
that book you told me to read, was it Fact or Fiction? Was it
Fact,
that one?
yeah, Factfulness.
Factfulness.
Factfulness is a brilliant book on that. Now, things happen, and some people do conspire, but you can't fix it.
Yeah.
Fix your life, rather. Why are you going? Do you know, Brad's right lately on social media, if you go into YouTube, the statistics are that 70% of the things you watch are things the computer shoved in front of you. You said, oh, I'd like to see that. You haven't decided 70% of what you watch. Those computers are so smart to understand the marketing needs and your profile. It's not wrong, but don't be caught in that grip.
Totally.
Mental toughness is, oh, that's interesting, but I'm not all of a sudden going to rally the troops around anti-Bill Gates.
Yeah.
So that's what you reduce.
Negative news cells.
Yeah, but I'm not,
You don't want that.
don't want it.
No.
If you want to be mentally tough.
Yeah.
I'm normal like all of us, but what I did do is I don't go on Facebook anymore.
Did you watch that Social Dilemma?
I love that movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well,
but
it's about what I've just spoke about.
Yeah.
Social dilemma. And they also say, look, it's not about anti-Facebook, anti-YouTube. It's not anti-Twitter. It's about be careful of the flip side,
Yeah.
the addiction side,
Completely.
where you spend your time on that all the time and it's controlling you. Not evilly, it's not a conspiracy. It's just trying to sell you stuff.
No, well, I just find in my life, it's like we've forgotten how to do
Yeah.
nothing. So
Brilliant,
you're
yeah.
addicted to just looking.
Just doing
for
stuff.
the sake of it. Hell,
Well, I watched a
scary.
series on interviewing the Chinese. Can't remember the interviewer. But he says, now tell us, one Chinese guy, are you guys trying to take over the world? Are you, no, seriously though, what is your intent? He says, I'm trying to sell you a duvet.
Just trying to make some money,
That's
please.
what I'm trying. And I think it's more that
Yeah.
than the conspiracy of, whoa, the Chinese, they're trying to, and why would you bother?
No.
Why would you bother? So there we got reduce. The next quadrant is raise. What must you do more of? What must you start doing to be tougher, mentally tougher? And it's obvious. Skills and knowledge. Read the right things. You know, Brad, those of us that don't read have no advantage.
Over those who can't.
Exactly.
That's my favorite line. Did you see that smile? Go back. Watch that again. That's so true. I love
It's
that
so
saying.
true. Now, if you read the wrong stuff, it's just as bad,
And
obviously.
all we're reading is Facebook,
Exactly.
which is hell.
Yeah. Do you have fact or Facebook? That's what
Yeah.
you must ask yourself.
Yeah.
No wrong with Facebook,
No.
but don't confuse it with fact and algorithms. So it's about learning. And there's so many aspects in the book about what I suggest you be learning. The final quadrant is create. What must you create? What must you create in your lives? And it's a process solution, in my opinion. You must create a plan. A strategic plan for you. What's my vision? What's my mission? What are my values? And then try and live them. And then what do I need to know to reinvent myself? To reimagine the future, not just repeat the same one. And if it's cool for you, you can. But I like constantly reinventing, reimagining, evolving, changing. And that's the 4 quadrants of Chan Kim's book. I love them. I absolutely love them. Seth Godin, in his book Purple Cow.
Sure.
Remember?
Yeah.
And I remember cycling in France, And I was telling Linda, look at all these cows. Why I would say that, I'm not sure.
Because if you
But there was-
you wouldn't be able to tell the story.
Exactly, so it's contextual.
Yeah.
But after a while, I stopped saying, look at all these cows. Why? Because there's nothing special about cows. Seth Godin says, if you want to have cows, have
A farm.
a purple cow.
I was wrong. My level 1 concentration
A
is...
purple cow. People, what?
Yeah.
A purple cow. You've got to make your cow purple or something. So a differentiator which makes you stand out. Now you can create that by doing the Blue Ocean strategy.
Yeah.
What's my differentiator? What makes me stand out?
Do you want to quickly say what I don't know they'll read it, but just blue oceans in a nutshell. There's a blue ocean and a red ocean.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
He contrasts red oceans and blue oceans, and those quadrants are how to get from here to there.
You
But
want to
red-
get out of red into blue.
Correct. Why out of red? I have no idea. I had a conference recently where on a Zoom, and I couldn't see the guy, and he said, I don't like red. And it totally threw me. So it's not about what you like. It's Seth Godin. Not Seth Godin. It's Chan Kim's book.
Yeah.
No, but we don't like red.
Right.
And he didn't like me, obviously. So that was just the way it is. And I got it's another punch. It's another James Small. It's another, I had to ride the punch. So the red oceans are kind of depict lots of competition, lots of boats, sharks. Although I don't want to badmouth sharks now, they're lovely.
Yeah.
But that sort of thing. Blue, you're on your own. Because of your differentiating factor, you're sailing out there, having an absolute ball. Until they catch you, then you must make it blue again.
Yeah.
Because there's
Everyone goes to the blue ocean.
absolutely, they're not stupid. They will. So that's the Chan Kim book. It's a great book. Seth Godin's book is simply about having purple cows, but he's very, very intelligent. He's a great author, and his podcasts are amazing.
Okay.
So it's very much worth it.
Maybe in the video, in the description, we can put
Yeah, I
books
can put
that
the books,
you've
yeah,
listed.
yeah. Well, why not? The third component of concentration is preparation.
So we're going to get back to it, and I want you to observe, because while Steve is giving a masterclass in concentration, I'm giving a masterclass in how gingers get burnt walking in the mountain.
Your heart.
Thanks. You were saying?
So the
Third
third component of concentration is preparation. The problem is people think they'll rise to the occasion. You don't. You rise to the level of your preparation. That's 99% of the time. So maybe on the occasional day you will pull out an amazing performance. But mental toughness is the ability to manage your mind so that you give your best performance consistently, no matter what is going on out there or in here.
Because you've prepared for it.
You prepared for it. That makes the difference. So that's where preparation comes in. You give your best performance if you've prepared for it. For the last story in preparation, let's go back to the Olympic Games, 1984. I know it's a long time ago.
That was before I was born.
Exactly. And me.
Yeah.
No, not quite. In 1984, Daley Thompson wins the gold medal for the decathlon. You know the event where you have 10 different events, and he slays the opposition.
That's the ultimate athlete event.
Ultimate athlete. So the press run up to him and said, Daley, they call the decathlon winner the world's greatest athlete. Why are you the world's greatest athlete? So maybe it's because I'm the world's best prepared athlete. Ha! Pray tell. What do you mean? What do you mean? So I said, I'll tell you what. If I'm competing against you and you're training twice a day, I'll train 4 times a day. If I'm competing against you and you're training 3 times a week, I'll train 6 times a week. If I'm competing against you and you're training in the rain, I'll train in the snow. I know whenever I went to a competition, I was the best prepared athlete at that competition. Maybe that's why they call me the world's greatest athlete. What? What?
We only did one thing.
Yes,
There's 7.
yes.
How do we, what do we do?
Who's we? Who died and left you in charge?
The people in the camera world.
Praz, it's a never-ending story.
To be continued.
Bye.